Well, hey, welcome in everyone. You are in the right place. This is Dave's After Dark Late Night Edition. We play multiple rounds, movies, history, pop culture, whatever. Fast clues, speed painting, and a clock that's not on your side. Your job, beat the reveal and beat everyone else in the chat. This is a play along show, so jump in early. Do say hello in the chat. When you think you've got it, drop your guess there. No pressure, no perfect answers. Just go with your gut. Now, tonight's late night rounds are pre-recorded, but will be hanging out in the chat. So I hope you enjoy. All right, fingers ready. Eyes on the screen. Because round one starts right now. All right, now you guys know the rules. Robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I try to keep the clues straight as possible along the way. No guarantees. Top Roman emperors. Simple instructions. Yes, Stuart. I've seen things you will not believe. This gentleman rose from humble origins to command the empire. He introduced a system that split Rome into 4 rulers. He aggressively persecuted Christians across the empire. Like any good emperor would do, he retired to grow cabbages in his seaside palace. I didn't know emperors retired. He's known for reforming and saving a crumbling Rome. All right, so I'm going to give you the dates that may help. 284 to 305 AD. This is the guy that retired to grow cabbage. He technically is a Caesar. This is not Caesar. This is the guy who persecuted Christians and retired to grow cabbages. Cabbages Maximus. Not Constantine this time, but hang on to Constantine. This is Diocletian, of course. Diocletian. All right, I'm going to start off by giving you the date, although you probably know this one anyway. 161 to 180 was when this guy ruled. Okay? He spent much of his reign fighting along the Danube. Am I saying that correct? Danube. He kept a journal that is still read in philosophy classes today. That's the key clue. His stoic calm contrasted with chaos of plague and war. Gladiator fans remember him. His son didn't live up to his legacy. Yeah, he had a bad son.
Yeah, you guys know this one. Very good. Rob, Stuart? You're correct. He's the philosopher king who wrote Meditations. And you are correct. This is Mr. Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, father of Commodus. Commodus, bad guy. Marcus Aurelius showed that wisdom and power don't always conflict unless your heir is Commodus. There you go. All right. Number 18. We got one. Now, this emperor claimed he saw a cross in the sky before a major battle. Have you ever heard that? This guy reigned from 306 to 337, so almost at the end of the empire. His laws favored a new religion over old Roman gods. He founded a city that would outlast Rome itself. He waited until his deathbed to be baptized. And therefore, he was Rome's first Christian emperor. Yes. There you go, Rob. You are correct. But now, Brian's in the house. Good to have you, Stuart. Just in case you're interested, it is Constantine the First, of course. Constantine didn't just embrace Christianity, he changed the course of Western history with it. There you go. And of course, the city was Constantinople. Hey, Brian. Glad you liked it. Let's try number 17. We're doing Roman emperors, famous Roman emperors. Number 17. He was bearded, Greek-loving, and deeply curious. This guy loved the Greeks. This is from 117 to 138 AD, if that helps. He preferred consolidation to conquest. Sounds like a fancy way of saying it. He traveled the empire more than almost any other emperor. Traveled the empire. He's remembered for both art and fortifications. Now, Stuart, you have a relic or a what do you call it? A ruin left over in your country from this gentleman. This is the guy that was Greek-loving, deeply curious, traveled the empire, was known more for the building the consolidations. There you go, Stuart. Brian? Rhombus. I think Rhombus had it first, maybe. I think we have to give it to Rhombus first. X marks this spot. Hadrian is, of course, correct. Hadrian's wall stands as proof that even empires have limits and great construction crews. Still standing. There you go. Number 16. Famous emperors. Roman emperors, of course. This gentleman expanded the empire to its greatest territorial reach. His victory in Dacia brought in tons of gold and trouble. His massive forum and column still stand in Rome. So this is the guy who built the forum and the famous column in the forum. He was born in Spain, not Italy. He was a soldier emperor beloved by the Senate. I'm going to give you the date. 98 to 117 AD. So pretty early in the empire. This is not Hadrian. We did Hadrian last. This is the guy that built the column. There's a famous column in Rome named after him. And there's a famous market in the Forum named after him. famous market. Oh, there you go, doctor. Glad there's a doctor in the house. It's always an advantage. Trajan is correct. Trajan was so admired that new emperors were blessed with the phrase, "May you be luckier than Augustus and better than Trajan." I never heard that saying, but I think I'm going to use it every day now. All right, next up, number 15. This gentleman followed in the sandals of Rome's first emperor. So this is 14 to 37 AD. So he's like the second emperor. He never liked ruling and spent years on an island. He hid out. His rule was marked by, it's probably a good move, paranoia and purges. Yeah, he sounds like he's paranoid. He was a brilliant general. Of course, the way, they all die rough. He was a brilliant general, but a moody leader. He was Rome's second emperor. Yeah, doctor. Yeah, nice typing on the first one, doctor. Like 8 burritos. But you are correct, doctor. Tiberius kept the empire running, but lost the public's love. Even emperors sometimes want to be left alone. Yeah, it sounds kind of interesting that he hid out on the island. There you go. All right, now everybody's favorite. Coming up. Well, I don't know about everybody. Some people's favorite. Sick people. This gentleman, or this emperor, thought he was Hercules and dressed like him. He actually fought in the arena and he cheated. He renamed Rome after himself. His wild reign was one gladiator short of total chaos. This is the bad guy from the Gladiator movie. This is the guy. And the truth is worse than the movie. Correct. Yes. Brian Stewart, Doctor. This one is Commodus. Yes. 180 to 192. Commodus's reign ended with a strangulation in a bath. Oh, nice. Somebody strangled Commodus in the bathtub. Rome collectively sighed in relief. There you go. All right. We're down to number 13. Number 13. This gentleman was co-emperor with his brother briefly. He extended Roman citizenship to all free men, mainly to tax them. Yeah, you could be a citizen. Empty your pockets. He's remembered for luxurious baths. So this is how I remember him, because I'm into the architecture thing in Rome. Luxurious baths and deadly paranoia. He killed his sibling and built public works. His emperor was as famous as his legions. This is the guy who built the baths. And this is how, in the second Gladiator, they kind of confuse storylines, right? They kind of confuse storylines. He killed his sibling and built public works. His temper was as famous as his legions. Yeah, there you go. Very good. Dr. Brian, both correct. This is Caracalla. The Baths of Caracalla. Yes. Caracalla's mix of generosity and brutality was pure imperial whiplash. Bipolar. happens. All right. Oh, this is everybody's favorite. I forgot. This guy now is ruling in 37 to 41 AD. His nickname means Little Boots. Okay. He may have made his horse a centaur. He demanded to be worshipped as a living god. His rule was short and absolutely wild. And they made a famous X-rated movie about his rule. Yes, you are correct. Dr. Brian, Rob. He demanded to be worshipped as a living god. He's Rome's most infamous lunatic on a throne. You know, there were a few, right? You know, it's hard, you know, they kind of go against each other. Caligula's rule was a cautionary tale about unchecked power and really bad horse politics. The robots fail on that joke. Caligula's reign was 37 to 41 AD. There he is. Wild and crazy, Mr. Caligula. Great movie, though, right? Am I right? Raise your hand. Who saw the movie? Number 11. This gentleman was a tough military man who rose from the ranks. He focused on defending the crumbling Western Empire. This is the guy who focused on defending the Western Empire. He died after yelling at barbarian envoys. Hey, what are you guys doing? He was known for justice and the occasional fury. Justinian's a good guess, but incorrect. Justinian's more the Eastern Empire, right? This is the Western Empire guy. He ruled during a time of near constant pressure from the outside. Everybody wanted a piece of the Roman Empire. 364 to 375, but very late in the empire. Very late. Very late. September Severus is a good guess. Incorrect. That's Severus guy ruled during good times. This is Valentinian. Valentinian the First. Valentinian was one of the last emperors to hold the West together. There you go, number 10. Now, I never heard of this emperor, but he sounds cool. 270 to 275 is when he ruled. AD, of course. He earned his nickname Restorer of the World. We put the empire back together, I guess. He crushed rebellious breakaway empires in both the East and the West. He started building a massive wall around Rome. So this is the guy who built the wall around Rome. And I think they call it after him. I'm not sure. His rule was short, but brutally effective. He reunified the empire after decades of chaos. So this is the guy who built the wall around Rome, not Hadrian, not Justinian, not any of those guys. This is Aurelian. That sound familiar at all? Aurelian. Aurelian. 270 to 275. Aurelian did more in 5 years than most did in 20. He might have saved the Roman Empire. If only he hadn't been stabbed by his own staff. That's tough. That's tough. You know, to take it from your own weapon. That's a bummer. Little infection. He's done. All right. Number 9. This guy's pretty famous. 41 to 54. So right after Caligula. He limped, stammered, and was underestimated his whole life. This is the guy that conquered Britain, despite the odds. He loved history books and he loved women, both with mixed results. Yes, he died rather mysteriously. He wasn't supposed to be an emperor, but he surprised everyone. He was found hiding behind a curtain after an assassination. Well, yeah, I'd hide after I got assassinated too. So yeah, Doctor knows. Doctor knows. So yeah, this guy apparently was killed by his wife, I think, because the wife wanted her son, who we'll talk about later, I think. Yeah, this is Claudius. Claudius was the ultimate underdog emperor. He proved brains could beat brawn until his fourth wife. Yeah, there you go. Claudius. Bummer. All right. So this next one is not technically an emperor. He crossed the Rubicon and never looked back. He was stabbed 23 times in the Senate. He changed the calendar and everything else. He never officially became emperor. Little known fact. He's the man who ended the Republic. He's the last leader of the Republic. Yeah, Doctor. Yeah, Rob. Julius Caesar, of course. Julius Caesar, 100 to 44 BC, right? BC. Caesar was more than a man. He became a myth. Shakespeare just added dramatic flair to what was already an epic tale. Yeah, Julius Caesar. The man, the myth, the legend. All right. The next one's related, of course. Kind of. That was number 8. We're down to number 7. Now, this gentleman was adopted by that guy we just looked at, by a murdered dictator. He ended decades of civil war with political genius. He took power without seeming to. He ruled during Rome's golden age of peace. And he was Rome's first official emperor. Yeah. There you go, Doctor. Antoinette. There you go. Madame. This is Mr. Augustus. Augustus. Wasn't he? He was also known as Octavian, correct? I think that's correct. Augustus didn't just start an empire. He made empire look classy. His reign set the gold standard for all who followed. Yeah, the Doctor knows his Roman emperors and serial killers. Which, yeah, there's obviously a connection there. And European Union leaders. They're all kind of tied together. All right. Now politics. Number 6. This gentleman marched on Rome during a chaotic power struggle. 193 to 211 AD. He strengthened the army and the emperor's authority. He was the first emperor from Africa. He was actually born over in Africa. He advised his sons to enrich the soldiers and scorn the rest. So he was an army guy, military man. His family made the Kardashians look stable. I guess he's got some family stories. This guy though, he expanded the empire on the east a lot, north up into like what, Yugoslavia and all, Czechoslovakia. All over the place. You remember who this is? I've seen the answer on the board already. Somebody put it up there. This is Mr. Septimus Severus. Septimus Severus. Severus built a dynasty with military muscle. Unfortunately, his sons wrecked it before the ink could dry. All right. Number 5. 69 to 79 AD. This gentleman rose from humble origins during Rome's messiest year. He stabilized the empire after a civil war. He started building the Colosseum. This is the guy who started building the Colosseum. He joked on his deathbed that he might be turning into a god. Okay. I guess they all got that. He founded a new dynasty. Oh, so he and his sons ruled for a while, I guess. Anybody know who this is? This is the guy who made Rome laugh again. And he rebuilt it too. A practical emperor with a dry wit and concrete results. This guy built a lot of stuff with concrete. 69 to 79 AD. Maximus Thrax. I like that. Not Titus. This is Vespasian. Vespasian. There you go. Okay, let's move on. Number 4. Now, this gentleman ruled one of the empire's most turbulent transitions. Very late, 337 to 361. He faced threats from within and beyond Rome's borders. He battled his own relatives for power. That's not good. Never good. He defended Christianity while trying to keep peace. This is Constantine's son. But he didn't have as much luck as Constantine. Anybody know who Constantine's son was? Constantine's son. Yeah, that's what doctor. Yeah, kind of another Constantine, but it's a little different. It's Constantius the second, actually. Constantius II kept the empire running during a delicate balancing act. Family feud meets imperial power struggle. All right, top 3. Here we go. Now, this is kind of late in the game. This is basically after the fall of the Roman Empire. 527 to 568. This gentleman recodified centuries of messy Roman law. This is the guy who rebuilt the Hagia Sophia after riots burned it down. His general, Belisarius, nearly restored the Roman West. So he had a guy working for him out west that did pretty well. His tax policies weren't very popular, to say the least. He was a Byzantine emperor, but Roman in spirit. Yeah, doctor got it. That's correct. Okay, that is correct. Justinian the First. Justinian tried to recreate Rome's glory days with brains and building projects. He almost pulled it off. Emphasis on almost. I think in our ladies of the ancient world, we always have his wife, the Theodora the First or something. Justinian is correct. All right, next two. Last two. I don't know if they're the best or not, but they are the last two we're doing. Well, this is a well-known. 54 to 68. So this is the guy that got the throne when the wife killed Claudius. He fancied himself a musician more than a statesman. A massive fire destroyed much of Rome during his reign. He blamed it on the Christians and began a brutal persecution. He reportedly fiddled while the city burned. Historians debate whether this is actually true. Sounds right. His name is still shorthand for imperial excess and madness. I think you guys know who this is. Who is this? The wife killed Claudius and helped this guy get into the throne, and then this guy killed his mom. And then he's the one who fiddled while Rome burned. Nero, of course. Nero. That's right. All right, last one. Yeah, this is definitely not the top emperor. This guy is 379 to 395. He made Christianity the official state religion of the empire. He banned pagan festivals and closed the temples. He was the last emperor to rule both the East and the West together. So this is the last time it was all one empire. His policies deeply shaped the future of Europe. His death permanently split the empire into two pieces. This is the guy. It wasn't Constantine at the time. No, it wasn't Constantine. This is the guy who oversaw the end of the whole Roman Empire. He laid the groundwork for medieval Christendom. Is that a word? After him, Rome would never again be whole or pagan. Stuart! Taking it for the team. Good job. Theodosius is correct. Theodosius. All right. But we made it. We made it. All right. Well, I know you guys know the rules. Robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I do drop the cool clues. So let's go ahead and play. Now, once again, keep quiet, but we're going to do the top 20 CIA questionable operations or endeavors. Here we go, number 20. All right. Yeah. So, I know you know the first one. You got that going. After World War II, America got very cozy with former enemies. Some recruits had resumes that included rocket science and war crimes.
These experts weren't just brainy, many had Nazi affiliations. The program brought German scientists to the US, no background check required. Yes, very good. Comments. Their knowledge helped launch America's space and weapons programs. Anybody know what years was Operation Paperclip active? Yeah, very good, Stuart von Braun. Very good. Yeah, Werner von Braun. Werner von Braun. Well, obviously the war ended in 1945. So there you go. I should say not bad. 45 to 19, all the way to 1959. They were scouring the planet, trying to get them all. And they brought them all over. There they are, the Operation Paperclip Boys. Among the recruits was Werner von Braun. He built rockets for Hitler before NASA. All right. I knew you'd know that one. You're going to know them all. It's just, you're going to have to combine the clues with the pictures because, it's hard for the pictures to tell the whole story. This covert mission overthrew a democratically elected leader. The target's only crime was nationalizing his country's oil business. It took place in the country of Iran or Iran. I ran to the store and changed the Middle East forever. The CIA and British intelligence teamed up. Who'd have thought? To reinstall a monarch. So what was the operation to reinstall the monarch in Iran? Because he nationalized oil. That wasn't good. That hurt the profits. The resulting backlash paved the way for revolution, which eventually happened in 1979. So this was kind of the background when the CIA and British intelligence removed the country's ruler and reinstalled the monarch. A model that they repeated over and over. Anybody know? This was called Operation Ajax. Operation Ajax. The U.S. apologized decades later, but the fallout from this op is still shaping geopolitics today. There you go. Okay, another bad story. Number 18. These are all bad stories. A charismatic African leader was eliminated shortly after independence. His assassination involved Western intelligence services. The CIA backed his rival, who would become a brutal dictator. This all happened under Cold War panic about communism in Africa. This guy's name was Patrice Lumumba. That's not familiar at all. Patrice Lumumba became a martyr, and Mobutu ruled for decades. So this bad guy, Mobutu, came in because the CIA put him in there. Anybody know where this is from? Yeah, exactly. Doctor, you are correct. You know when it was? Wasn't. Yeah, well, I guess it was a long time ago now. The U.S. originally planned to poison Lumumba's toothpaste. Sounds like that. Yeah, they were really into that stuff back then. Poison the toothpaste. Anyway, yeah, this was the Congo crisis, 1960 to 1965. Yeah, you got it. Poison is toothpaste. Nice. All right, now you've heard of this one. Let's see if you can put the things together. This was designed to root out enemy sympathizers during the Vietnam War. Now, it included blacklists, torture, and extrajudicial killings. Suspects were often civilians with no trial, no mercy. Even U.S. military officials were disturbed by its brutality. It became synonymous with CIA overreach in wartime. Does anybody remember the name of this program? So, yeah, it was Vietnam, and they worked with the South Vietnamese army, and it was spooks, all spooks. And they were actively, you can see these guys, just, normal spooks running around Vietnam. Yeah, it's like Colonel Kirk. It's only, just out in the open. You might know what the program was called. Now, it ran from 1965 to 1972. This was called, I'm going to give you going once, going twice. It was called the Phoenix Program. The Phoenix Program. Some estimate over 20,000 people were killed under Phoenix, with little proof of guilt required. Yeah, so, I don't know what the courts would have to say about that. We can't even kick out the illegal alien gang members. All right, number 16. Now, I think you've heard of this. This was a domestic surveillance project targeting anti-war activists. It spied on Americans, breaking the CIA's own rules. They're not supposed to spy on Americans. The CIA is supposed to only operate overseas. The operation infiltrated civil rights and protest movements. So they were after black people and hippies. Files were kept on thousands of U.S. citizens. Anybody remember what this operation was called? It was exposed during the Watergate era investigation. Now, this has some overlap with the hippies and Charles Manson and all that stuff. There's some overlap. Anybody remember what it's called? This was called Operation Chaos. Operation Chaos. The CIA wasn't supposed to operate on U.S. soil. Chaos blew that boundary wide open. Yeah. Operation Chaos. Google that. You'll find nothing. You'll get a blank page. All right. Number 15. A Latin American, can't really tell yet. A Latin American president lost his job for giving land back to the people. It's problematic. U.S. fruit companies didn't like that. This is the whole banana war. That's where the term banana republic comes from, I think. The CIA engineered a coup using a fake invasion and propaganda. This is in 1954. Anaconda. I like that name. No. This ushered in decades of military dictatorships and civil war. It was one of the agency's first big successes. It was the U.S. Fruit Company. They were protecting the fruit business. It wasn't the Dominican Republic. It was actually in Guatemala. This is known as the Guatemala coup of 1954. The term banana republic became chillingly literal in this case, thanks to United Fruit's influence. All right, got to protect those corporations. Yeah, there's a lot of current information. coming out on all this stuff that will again, of course, be buried before it comes out completely. All right, number 14. Now, this is the lesser known sibling to MK Ultra. We're not looking for MK Ultra per se. This was focused on drug testing and behavioral control. Subjects were often unaware and unwilling. So this is all the way back to the 1950s. It was about finding the perfect interrogation cocktail. There he is. He's trying to serve up the perfect cocktail. They're trying to figure out what they can inject into these guys to get them to tell the truth. Psychedelics, paranoia, and zero ethics. Many victims never knew they were part of an experiment until decades later when the lawsuits started. All right. Anyway, this was actually called Project MK Search, not MK Ultra. So there you go. This was when they were first exploring all the different drugs to try to get people to tell the truth. And they just injected it into everybody just to test it. Why not? Yeah, there you go. All right. Now this one's somewhat familiar. Number 13. This is a Cold War fever dream focused on one man, Fidel Castro. Various plots included poison pins, exploding seashells, and exploding cigars. It was cartoonish, yet deadly serious. The goal was to assassinate a communist leader by any bizarre means necessary. So this is not the Bay of Pigs. The Bay of Pigs may be on this list. We'll see. But this is, I can't remember if this is after or before. This is the same time frame. For sure. They were, this is basically trying to assassinate Fidel Castro. What was it called? The operation was inspired by Bond villain ideas than real results. Well, that's actually Fidel, I think. That's Fidel Castro there. And the operation to assassinate Fidel Castro was called Operation Mongoose. Is that familiar? Operation Mongoose. Yeah. I don't know why it's called Mongoose. I don't. Yeah, I should say. There you go. Correct. Correct you are. All right. We're down to number 12. This one's good. Zelensky would like this one. And apparently, Macron and the British guy and the German guy that were all on the airplane the other day. The CIA-backed rebels fighting Nicaragua's leftist government. Somehow, cocaine smuggling became part of the strategy. Journalists linked U.S. support to the crack epidemic in California. The CIA denied everything, but evidence piled up. Conspiracies turned into inconvenient truths. Communism in America. No. But this was a weird story. So this was part of the, CIA trying to get guns to the rebels and support that by making money selling cocaine. They basically helped the black gangs in LA invent crack to get people more addicted.
It was all CIA. Very good. It was called the Contra Cocaine Scandal. In the 1980s, so not that long ago. This scandal fueled distrust in the U.S. government and helped inspire the film Kill the Messenger. There you go. All right. So I think somebody mentioned this one earlier. This was part of the whole Castro thing. This was a failed invasion designed to overthrow Castro. Poor planning and bad intelligence led to disaster. The operation was exposed immediately and globally. It embarrassed a new president just months after he took office. There you go. Everybody knows. Very good. A Shih Tzu. Stewart. Let go. Yes. Yes, it was very embarrassing. This kind of ended the good positive vibes between Kennedy and the CIA. Instead of liberation, it cemented Cuba's alliance with the USSR. Yeah, so this threw Cuba into Russia's hands. Back in the USSR, baby. Kennedy took responsibility, but privately blamed the CIA, sparking lifelong mistrust. Lifelong is a odd choice of words. You are correct. This is the Bay of Pigs invasion, 1961. Way back, 1961. There you go. Now remember, we're doing things the CIA did badly. Bad things they did. Missteps. CIA missteps. That's a nice way to put it. All right, number 10. A democratically elected Marxist was overthrown with CIA help. The U.S. feared a second Cuba in South America. Economic sabotage and propaganda laid the groundwork. Yeah, so this is the beginning of, I don't know if you've heard of economic hitmen. There's books on that. Check that out. Allende died. Pinochet rose, ruling the brutal force. Democracy was trampled in the name of capitalism. You may remember that's actually Henry Kissinger. This wasn't that long ago. This is 1973. So, CIA is up to no good just consistently over the years. Not Argentina. That's a better guess. Second guess is better. Correct. The Chilean coup, 1973. Declassified documents later showed the CIA's fingerprints all over Chile's collapse. Mr. Kissinger. Yeah. Definition of deep state. There you go. All right, we're down to number 9. Now, this one's a little more generic, so we're just going to tell a little story here and see how it goes. From Asia to Africa, the CIA backed strongmen over socialists. So this is their pattern now. These leaders brought order through repression and violence. The Shah of Iran, Suharto, and Pinochet topped the list. U.S. interests were protected, no matter the cost. Human rights were optional. The irony is that many regimes that the U.S. helped install would later be overthrown in anti-American uprisings. Yeah. So, this is a funny picture. This is like some drug driver driving around all these regimes that the CIA helped put into power. This is called the CIA ties to dictators. during the Cold War. The irony, of course, is that they all backfire. Everyone. So, bad CIA. All right, this next one involved Europe. And you may have heard of it. There's been some books on this one. Number 8. A NATO stay behind program that turned rogue. It stockpiled weapons in case of Soviet invasion. Allegedly funded false flag attacks to sway politics. Ah, yeah. The old false flags. Left-wing movements were framed and targeted. Italy, Belgium, and others saw waves of strategic terror. In one of the most jaw-dropping stories of the Cold War, paranoia, part fact, part shadowy legend. Does anyone remember the name of this operation? It was the false flags in Europe, leave behind weapons, kind of like establish opposition groups that were just fake. It's kind of like in the U.S. they do the same thing. They make fake Nazi. It's called Operation Gladio. Operation Gladio. I know these are getting a little obscure. Hopefully we'll get through the... you had it. I should... Stuart, you guys all had it. Very good. Awesome. Awesome job. Yeah. How about that? All right, this next one's hard too. I'm going to give you the year. 1962. 1962. A common name that you might have heard of. A proposal to stage fake terror attacks on U.S. soil. The goal to justify military action against Cuba. So they were setting up Cuba again. Civilian casualties were on the table. See, that's why we're all skeptical about everything. Even 9/11, people are skeptical about. JFK rejected the plan. And not long after, he was assassinated. So this may have been the operation that got JFK killed. It was never enacted, but terrifying, it was even suggested. They were going to do false flag terrorist attacks against American people and blame it on Cuba. There you go. Had it been approved, the U.S. might have bombed its own citizens in false flag attacks. Anybody know this one? This is the false flag attacks that probably is the thing that got JFK killed when he nixed the plan. This is called Operation Northwoods. Operation Northwoods. They list the year at 1962. There you go. Operation Northwoods. And apparently that's the guy that was behind the whole thing. He later got in trouble for it. There you go. All right, now we'll do some more modern stuff, okay? Some more contemporary CIA bad deed. Bad deed. Suspects were kidnapped off the streets. They were flown to secret prisons in other countries. No charges, no trials, just torture. Waterboarding. And other stuff. Allies participated. Oversight was minimal. Yeah, there's some stories about Woody Harrelson's dad. I don't remember the details of that. Black sites became a global open secret.
The program sparked international lawsuits and damaged Americans' human rights image. Now, of course, the CIA couldn't come up with their own operation name for this. But people have started to call this the Extraordinary Rendition. Extraordinary Rendition. Anyway, so there you go. They're extraordinarily renditioning these guys. The program sparked international lawsuits and damaged Americans' human rights image. There you go. Yeah, the whole JFK thing. Whew. They released all the stuff, but you still can't figure it out. So complicated. Crazy. All right, number 5. They're totally related to the last. Waterboarding, sleep deprivation, mock burials. These methods were labeled enhanced interrogation. CIA contractors ran it with near total cease. Some victims were later proven innocent. The program's legality and morality remain hotly debated. The Senate Intelligence Committee's 2014 report called the program ineffective and brutal. So this just is the torture at the black sites, right? They actually did the waterboarding and all this stuff that they weren't supposed to do, and they did it. Anyway, it was all kind of post 9/11. You know, we were pissed off. We got hit, and we weren't going to stand for it. So there you go. People do bad things. CIA is at the spear point, the tip of the spear. CIA. All right. We got 4 more. Then we'll be done with this category. So this category doesn't play as well. It's all kind of just too dark. Number 4. All right. We've heard of this. The CIA's mind control experiment that went completely off the rails. This is the one the movie was about. With, what's his name? What's the kid's name that was in the movie? Doses of LSD were administered to unsuspecting civilians. Subjects jumped out of windows or went insane. Files were destroyed in a cover-up. Yes, very good. No ultra. I like that. Prophesis is slightly more correct. Maybe that was the spell correct. Spell check. It's the granddaddy of all conspiracy theories, and much of it's true. You are correct. MK Ultra. Supposedly ran from 53 to 73. Supposedly they ended it in 73. Now, do you believe that? Because I'll tell you what, that first kid that shot Trump in the ear, that seems like an MK Ultra setup. The project was so secret that even presidents weren't fully briefed. MK Ultra. There you go. Okay, we got 3 more. That's kind of interesting. These are all interesting. The last 3 are all pretty interesting. Here we go. Support for the Mujahideen indirectly fueled the heroin trade. Warlords used CIA money to expand opium production instead of using it for weapons and food for the soldiers and stuff to fight the Soviets. They used it to expand opium production. The results? Narco-terrorism and global addiction. Nice. Victory against the Soviets came with a chemical price. And this chaos involving the whole opium trade helped birth the Taliban. where the Taliban came from. Somebody had to run the drug trade. Yeah, the Taliban origin story. There you go. Yeah. The CIA and the Afghan drug trade is the name of the operation in the 1980s. And in trying to beat one enemy, the CIA may have helped create the next two. And that's usually the way the CIA works, right? Hit one enemy, start up two new ones. You know, it's good for business. It's good for future business. There they are, look. The Marines working with the Mujahideen. Yeah, well, they did. They paid for a lot of their operations with drug trade, right? What do they call that? Air USA or Air America? Air America moving, flying cocaine around. All right, now this is pretty current. Journalists covering the CIA became surveillance targets. So did whistleblowers exposing government secrets. Even Senate staffers weren't safe from spying. From the 1970s to Edward Snowden, the pattern continued. Press freedom clashed with national security. Head to head. Guess who lost? The CIA literally hacked into Senate computers during the torture investigations. You know, we were looking at those torture investigations. During that time, the CIA was hacking into the senators' computers. That sounds treasonous to me. I don't know what you think. This is Daniel Ellsberg in the picture. I don't know if you remember that story. He was one of the whistleblowers, essentially, right? So this is the big story on number 2, the second most important one, surveillance of journalists and whistleblowers. So these were supposedly all 20 to 1, right? Countdown. Second most important. There you go. And the most important. Can you imagine what the most important one was if that's number 2? And this one has a name you'll know. So we need to get the name of this operation. A massive propaganda effort targeting the media. Journalists were paid to push CIA narratives, and they still are today, of course. Newsrooms were infiltrated, foreign and domestic. They shaped Cold War public opinion with subtle bias, sometimes not so subtle. Truth was optional, so long as it served the strategy. Operation Fake News is, of course, correct, although that's not the name of the operation. It has a name. It has a name that people know, and you should know it. You need to know it. Everyone needs to know it. And then Google it. Google won't give you nothing. Put it into Grok it. Many historians believe its effects linger, raising tough questions about modern media trust. You think? You think it's lingering? This was called, yes, there you go, I should do. Correct. Operation Mockingbird. Dan Rather, the original Mockingbird. They're all mockingbirds. All right, well, got fun at the end there, right? Got fun at the end. Yeah, it turns out the CIA is not your friend. Not your friend. Yeah, I'm very much feeling bad about it. A little chafed about it. I do have some stories too.
We'll talk about it in the future. We'll do more on the CIA in the future. This is the top 20 British Isle historic events. Starting with number 20. It started with radio and became, this is the 20th most important event in British Isle history. It started with radio and became a global media powerhouse. Started with radio. Known for informing, educating, and occasionally interrupting tea time. Don't interrupt tea time. Its iconic news voice once declared, "This is London." It helped keep spirits up during World War II. That's good. Yes, of course, you guys know. Yes. What about the BBC? What's the most important event? It is the blank of the BBC. The blank of the BBC. The BBC was the first to broadcast a monarch's coronation live. Turns out even kings need good ratings. Okay, the beginning. No, not the beginning. What did God do? What did God do? The creation of the BBC. All right, let's get a little bigger. We'll let that pass. That's a good one, though, right? That was important. Wasn't that important? You guys agree? Disagree? Creation of the BBC, important? I guess. Number 19. This one, some of these I didn't know about, so they're interesting to kind of learn about. Power started moving away from Westminster. It gave parliaments and assemblies to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Local governments began making more of their own law. The move sparked debates over independence and unity. It did mark a turning point in UK constitutional history. So now this happened in 1998. Not that long ago. 1998, 1999. They passed some laws, changed the power from all being centralized to more spread out. What was that called? Anybody know? Apparently it was important. Regional voting, I like that. Decentralized, I like that. You know what they call? They call it the De-Evolution Acts. The De-Evolution Act, or the Devolution Act, I guess you would say. Devolution Act. Yeah, there you go. Scotland even got its own version of the First Minister's questions. There you go. All right, number 18. So, similar, but much earlier. This one created a new political entity across the sea. It merged Ireland into the United Kingdom. This was in 1801. It was unpopular with many Irish nationalists. It sparked decades of constitutional tension and rebellion. It legally bound the British Isles into one state. So this is the time that it actually all became one. What did they call that? Yeah. I think that's right. I think the doctor more or less has it. Despite the Union, Ireland never truly felt united, especially after the 20th century. So this was called the Act of Union. Act of Union. There you go. Yes, and I think the bonus fact is correct. Despite the Union, Ireland never really felt united.
1801. There you go. It sounds important. Kind of a weird picture, though. I don't know how else to throw it. There you go. Robots are trying their best. They're doing their best. Sometimes, they're robots. Number 17. All right, so this happened in 1921. So that's the date. Guerrilla warfare met empire in the Irish countryside. British forces faced ambushes, boycotts, and political subversion. It ended with a controversial treaty. Ireland was partitioned. North and South took different paths. A free state was born and conflict smoldered on. We know what this was called. I don't know. Was it called the Easter Uprising? I never heard that. It's not the Isle of Man, I don't think. 1921, guerrilla warfare met empire in the Irish countryside. Obviously, some sort of rebellion in Ireland. It's called the Irish War of Independence. Does that sound right? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Irish War of Independence. This war featured spies, shootouts, and a secret government running out of safe houses. Almost like a Netflix thriller. But let's try to make a little joke. The Irish War of Independence, 1919. Sound right? Number 16. A lot of these are like wars and battles and stuff like that. So good luck. Number 16. I'm going to give you the date. Help you out. 1688. So you could Google that real quick. 1688. A king was booted out without a full-on war. Parliament invited new monarchs to take the throne. Protestantism won the day. Again. It led to a Bill of Rights and less royal power. Glorious is generous unless you were King James II. Okay. What was this called? This was called the Glorious Revolution. That sound familiar at all? The Glorious Revolution? It was a revolution so polite, the monarch fled without a final sword fight. Very on brand for the British. The robot's taking a little shot at the Brits. Oh, the Glorious Revolution, 1688. There you go. Was that the Cromwell one, or is that something different? We'll see. Maybe it was. 15. 15. Now, this is the name of a battle. Okay, I need the name of a battle. In 1690, this was a battle that shaped centuries of Irish division over in Ireland. William of Orange faced off against King James II. It wasn't just about religion, but it looked that way. Protestants gained the upper hand in Ireland. Parades still commemorate the outcome of this battle. Yeah, very good. There you go. You got it. The Battle of, how do you say that? Boyne.
Fournay. Give me the phonetic pronunciation, spelling. Phonetic spelling, please. William won with help from Irishmen, and James ran back to France. Very awkward for James. The Orange Man. There you go. That was number 15. Here's number 14. Another battle. This one's way back, though. This is all the way back in 1314. This is pre-Black Death pandemic. The Scots got scrappy under Robert the Bruce. This is Robert the Bruce. England brought the heavy cavalry, but they lost. It became a rallying cry for Scottish independence. The English king fled the field in disgrace. It's still celebrated by Scotland's proudest patriots. There you go. That's correct. Doggo, sword. You are both correct. The Battle of Bannockburn. It wasn't just a win. It was a medieval mic drop for the Claymores. A medieval mic drop. Now one guy's got a big hatchet. Looks a little rough. The Battle of Bannockburn. Way back in 1314. Kind of crude weapons. Not many guns. The Jacobites. Never heard of them yet. All right, number 13. This one is a little more peaceful, but important. This is all the way back in the year 1215. Who knows what happened in 1215? A rebellious group of barons cornered their king. They demanded that he stop being such a royal jerk. The king reluctantly agreed to some of the rules. It laid the groundwork for constitutional limits on monarchy. It became a symbol of law over arbitrary power. Yeah. You are correct on this. I should say. This is when they signed the Magna Carta. Sounds like an interesting story that the king really didn't want to sign, but he was forced to sign. King John didn't stick to the deal though, so they had to fight about it later anyway. So they signed up front. There you go, Alex. Yes, you're correct. Magna Carta. All right, well, that was number 13. There it is, Magna Carta. He's still signing. You're still going to have to fight about it. There it is. All right, number 12. This is a war. This one's a war. 1642 to 1651. A long war. 1642 to 1651. It pitted the Roundheads versus the Cavaliers in a Royal Rumble. Sounds like a wrestling match. Parliament fought the king and eventually chopped off his head. I believe this might be the Cromwell situation. The monarchy was abolished for a while. Oliver Cromwell ruled as not quite a king. It was a war over how power should be shared. So 1642 to 1651, Roundheads versus Cavaliers. This is all known as the Civil War, correct? Yes, it is the Civil War. The English Civil War. Much more civilized. The Puritans canceled Christmas during the AC era. Seriously. No figgy pudding for anyone. Canceled Christmas. The English Civil War. I can't tell what's going on in that picture, but it doesn't look good. I think they're taking the head off the king there. Not sure. All right, number 11. We're down to number 11. Now, this was important. This happened in the late 1700s, so just before 1800. Machines took over. Goodbye handcraft, hello factories. Coal powered everything, including a few child laborers. I don't know what that means. Britain's cities exploded with smog and opportunity. The working class and steam engines both roared to life. It made Britain rich and grimy. Yes, looks like you're all getting it. Stuart maybe got it first. Doctor, I should soon not. It is the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution. It actually went on for a long time. I guess it's still going on today. But it started in the late 1700s. It made Britain rich and grimy. This was the original startup boom, except with soot, smog, and spinning jennies. What was the TV series in Manchester with the gang? What's it called? What's it called? The gang's name? With Tom something. Great series. It is set in the Industrial Revolution. All right, number 10. This was important. If I give you the date, you should get it. 1348. 1348. It came by ship, and it brought death in day. Fleas, rats did the dirty work. A third of the population perished. Labor shortages gave peasants unexpected power. This was a weird outcome. It shaped society, economics, and faith. Correct. You guys all know Peaky Blinders. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you for that. The Peaky Blinders. Great series. I love that. The Black Plague is, of course, correct. I shit too, Dr. Rombas. People thought it was caused by bad air, divine punishment, or neighbors. It was caused by the neighbors. Anyway, the interesting thing was, economically, after that, it gave power to the peasants because there wasn't enough labor. So the peasants suddenly had lots of power. Get paid more. There you go. Not enough of them. All right, number 9. Number 9. Most important historical events in the British Isles. A king got tired of waiting for a papal annulment. He wanted to divorce his wife. Didn't come fast enough. He broke up with the Pope and the monasteries. Wealth and land flowed into royal hands. England became officially Protestant. I think it is King Henry, but what's the event? What's the event? England became officially Protestant, monks were evicted, and relics were tossed. That's maybe the key clue. Monks were evicted, and relics were tossed. King Henry VIII dissolved more monasteries than marriages, but not by much. This is called the Reformation and the dissolution of monasteries. The dissolution of monasteries. 1530s, way back when. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Dissolution of monasteries. You were correct. I think all those things are true. You guys had lots of correct answers. All right. Number 8. This is another battle. This is way back. 1066. An important battle in 1066. One king died with an arrow to the eye. That would hurt. Ow. A Norman duke became the conqueror. French influence flooded England's culture and language. I think everybody's got to get this one. Castles and feudalism took over the landscape. A tapestry tells the whole dramatic tale. Yes. But what was the battle called? You guys have the battle up there? I don't know if I saw the battle yet. Yes, Rhombus. A tapestry tells the whole dramatic tale. That's interesting, right? There's this tapestry, which I don't know if this is the tapestry. It may be. Is this the tapestry I'm showing? I think it is. The English crown has been Norman ever since. There you go. The Battle of Hastings. Yeah. Is correct. 1066. Way back in the day. That's our oldest one, I think. Oldest important date. All right, well, let's jump all over the place because that's what the robots like to do. This is number 7. 7th most important. I'll give you the date. 1707. 1707. One kingdom to rule them all. Well, 2. England and Scotland merged parliaments. Trade and taxes became shared. The nationalists weren't thrilled, but the economy grew. This is what actually marked the birth of Great Britain. Now, does anybody remember what it's called? It's like I'm looking for like the name of the law, the name of the thing that happened. Put it together. Scotland kept its own church and laws. No kilts were harmed in the merger. There they are. They're getting together peacefully, and they're passing something that was called. It was called the Acts of Union. The Acts, A-C-T-S, not A-X-E. The Acts of Union. There you go. All right, learn something every day on Dave's After Dark. Number 6. So this was unfortunate. Kind of an interesting picture. I don't know if you can get it from the picture, but it's an interesting picture. Potatoes rotted, but grain still left the island. Over 1 million died, and millions more fled. This is in 1845 through 1852, a period of time. British aid was slow, minimal, or cruel. Irish resentment hardened for generations. It changed the population forever. Forever. Yeah, you guys all know. It is the Irish potato famine, the Great Famine in Ireland. The potato famine. The famine sparked, I shouldn't laugh. The famine sparked a massive Irish dysphoria, especially to the U.S. Irish diaspora. Diaspora, does that mean like a departure? Where many became political leaders. There you go. Well, anyway, so that's a monument with sculptures. See, those are like sculptures. Weird picture. There you go. All right. Potatoes. Top five. Here we go. Number five. 1689. What happened in 1689? No more divine right of kings. Sorry, monarchs. Parliament gained supremacy over the crown. This is when Parliament gained supremacy. Civil liberties became law, not suggestions. It influenced democratic movements worldwide. It followed the Glorious Revolution. Yeah, yes. So, Bill of Rights is correct, I should do. But it is not just the Bill of Rights, because in America we have a Bill of Rights, but it's a certain Bill of Rights. 1689, it was before the American Bill of Rights. Think of it as Britain's Constitution without the fireworks and the powdered wigs. I think they had powdered wigs still. This is the English Bill of Rights, of course. So you are correct. Bill of Rights. That was in 1689. All right. We're down to number 4. Number 4. That's what's important. I've covered this one quite a bit in other shows. I believe I've had a couple videos on this. England's smaller fleet beat the mighty Spanish Navy. Weather and tactics did the trick. Queen Elizabeth, her speech rallied the nation. I'm sure that was it. Protestantism held firm against the Catholic ambition. It made England a rising naval power. Yeah. You guys know. Yeah. It's actually, yeah, it's the defeat of the Spanish Armada, right? And what year was it? Anybody know what year the defeat of the Spanish Armada was? The Armada's defeat was so celebrated, they made medals out of the wreckage. Cool. Well, I'll tell you. It was 1588. It was the defeat of the Spanish Armada. There you go. All right, we got 3 left. We've got 3 left. Here we go. It was said the sun never set on its lands. Trade, conquest, and colonization spread British rule. It controlled a quarter of the globe. Revolutions, wars, and independence movements. Broke it down. It left a complex legacy across the world. Yeah, of course. Of course. It is the British Empire. Of course. It is a little more officially the rise and the fall of the British Empire. 16th through 20th centuries. That had a run. Had a run. Tea in India, railways to Africa, cricket in the Caribbean. Think or blame the British Empire. There it is, the British Empire. All right. We got 2 left. We have 2 left. We're still celebrating the British Empire over here. Yeah. All right. Glad to have the Empire over with. Down to number 2. London burned, but never broke. 1939 to 1945. Civilians slept in tube stations during air raids. Churchill rallied the nation with speeches and cigars. Yeah, you guys know. Britain stood almost alone in 1940. Victory reshaped its role in the world. That's not a, I don't know if you can tell, that's kind of a bombed out picture of London. Really bad looking, right? A lot of those photos of World War II are just amazing. The aftermath of the London Blitz. Anyway, World War II and the Blitz, 1939 to 1945. One slogan said it all: keep calm and carry on, and they really did. Yeah, B2 von Braun, there you go. It's all tied together. It's all connected. It's all connected. All right, so we're down to the number 1. What do you think the number 1 is? What's the most important thing in the history of the British Isles? At least according to the robots. Anybody know? Well, it involved Emperor Claudius. Oh, the Beatles. I think that's a good answer. Queen is a good answer. That's also important. Emperor Claudius sent the legions. Roads, cities, and aqueducts followed. It was kind of like the Hicks lived in England before these guys came. The Druids weren't fans of the new bosses. Latin law and coins became common. It tied Britain to the classical world. Yes, David Bowie. That was it. I believe Stuart has the correct answer. The Roman invasion of the British Isles. If I remember what year that was. You guys around? Do you remember what year it was? Area make it. Could be. They built Hadrian's Wall to keep the wild Scots out early in real estate with security features. So, they took one look at the Scots and said, we don't want to go up there. 43 CE, 43 AD. There you go. All right, we made it through the British.
Hey. We're going to call it an evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the late night trivia. We're going to try it again next week. All right? Take it easy and hope to see you on Sunday night for the live. We have 4 rounds of top 10s, and that should be a lot of fun. So hope to see you on Sunday evening. Adios. See you later.